Hello everybody, Joyce here with the Traveling Gamblers, and I am here with Jon. Hello Jon.
Hello Joyce.
And Jon and I are on an excursion. We are in Cartagena, Spain, one of the ports on our transatlantic cruise on the Celebrity Edge cruise ship. This is an excursion that we booked through Celebrity, and it is a tour of Cartagena. So join us as we go exploring and we see some of the landscape as we drive to our first stop. We will see some incredible historical sites and experience some of the culture of Spain.
Flamenco is typical from the whole of Spain, but it's not. It's typical from the south of Spain. Well, to be more precise, from Andalusia, the region in the very south of the country, with Malaga, where you've been, Seville, Granada, those cities. It's the region next to us, to our west. Well, since many people from Andalusia came here to work in the mines, obviously they brought their folklore here. And that's so important because nowadays, the main flamenco festival held in Spain is celebrated here, in this area, in a town called La Unión. It's very close to here. We won't see it because it's a little bit inland. Would be, we can say, to our left. Now, La Unión means the union because there were 4 small villages that became so big because of all the immigrants coming here to work in the mines. That, well, they joined, and so the whole town was named La Unión. Well, so in the first half of August we have a flamenco festival, which is in the news, in the national TV every year, because most of the famous flamenco singers and dancers have participated in this festival, which is actually a contest. Festival de Cante de las Minas, in the Festival of the Mines is its name. As I told you, it's the most important one in Spain. Everything we see now on either side of the road belongs to this tourist complex. Nowadays there's a huge spa, several villas, and not only the golf courses, but also there are 8 soccer fields and 28 tennis courts. Many people and many sports teams come here to train, especially in winter, because our winters are very mild. And all of these houses you can see can be rented or can also be bought. So more and more people are buying these houses here to spend the whole year here or most of the year here. And even famous people come here for their holidays. Inside the complex there's absolutely everything: supermarkets, restaurants, petrol stations, savings banks, and there's even a private beach that was created artificially by this man Gregory Peters, who blew up the mountain to create a beach for his wife as a present for her. I've never been given a beach for my birthday. Well, as I've told you, that would not be possible nowadays because of the law protecting the landscape and everything, but this was in the 60s. And well, now we have the most luxurious tourist complex here in the region. It has, by the way, 3 times the size of Monaco. 3 square kilometers. One of the characteristics here is that there are, apart from the long beach, small coves, very nice for people who want to be more or less on their own. And source of income now for this town. Diving. Because of different reasons. Because there is a marine reserve, there are a lot of shipwrecks, and well, other reasons. So for the whole year we receive people here who come to dive. And now the Chiringuito is opened. I found the owner. You know these kind of small bars in beaches made of wood? The name of them is Chiringuito in Spanish. I phoned the owner before we came here to find out if it would be open, and he told me it wouldn't be. And now, well, it's because there are toilets here. Well, doesn't matter. The others were bigger, and you could buy some crisps. I saw you. So we will be here for 20 minutes until 10 past 11. Okay? So you can have something to drink or to eat here, or you can walk along the promenade and you can see La Manga there, or you can come to the top of the hill with me, where the lighthouse is.
For this part I need to do a voiceover because it was quite windy. We are beginning the 15-minute walk up to the top where the lighthouse was, and along the way we see some of the beautiful views. And when we get to the top, the tour guide is telling a story about why so many ships wrecked here, and one shipwreck specifically.
There are lots of shipwrecks here in this area. And the most special one was the one, this is why we have display here, that happens in the year 1906. We had our own Titanic here. The name of the boat was El Sirio, as you can read here. Sirio, this is the name. Well, it was a similar ship to Titanic, but smaller, a bit smaller. And the thing is that it went from Italy to Argentina, taking immigrants. Apparently, the captain stopped here to pick up some more illegal immigrants. This is why he was sailing so quick, and many people jumped to the water. Many people died because they couldn't swim, especially women with those very heavy clothes. They went straight to the bottom. From the very beginning, well, people here heard the explosion and they came with their boats to help, but well, at that time only a few fishermen lived here. But this man, Vicente Rodriguez, he had a big ship with that mast on the prow, you know, and he approached his boat to this one and made a bridge, and so he saved hundreds of people. We don't know how many people died because we don't know how many people there was in the boat or in the ship. We know many people died, and he saved hundreds of people, as I've told you. Well, the thing is that you can see a drawing of what the ship was like, or like this. It stayed like this for 2 weeks. So if people hadn't panicked, everybody would have survived.
And you can see close up here how shallow the water is. There's a little beach with some locals, and it is really beautiful. I'm glad that we climbed to the top to see this in addition to the lighthouse. And here is a picture of me and John and Christina and Nelson and the lighthouse, the reason we climbed all the way up to begin with. And now we get back on the bus. These are some of the things that I saw along the way that I thought were worthy of taking a photo of. When we get back to the port area, we are going to continue our tour. We're going to a museum, and we are going to see a Roman theater.
You can, because it's very easy to go back on your own to the ship. It's not like this in every city you're going to visit with a cruise. So, if I were you, I would stay in Cartagena for a bit longer, because it is a nice city. The old town is only for pedestrians, it's completely flat, and it takes only 10-15 minutes from the town hall.
Now we are at the walking portion of our tour, and this is the area that is right across from the ship. As the guide said, it's only about a 10-minute walk from the ship to this area. It's phenomenal to do on your own. That building that you see ahead on the left is the town hall. And while we were there, it was a Sunday, and they were having a local dance competition. And that's the main reason why it's so crowded right now. But after we go through the museum and see the Roman theater, we come back out and most of these people are gone. We are now standing outside of the museum. Our guide went in to get our tickets, and we are all going to go in as a group. They asked us to not record video, so I will be taking some stills until we get outside to the Roman theater. This is a model of the Roman theater that we are about to see, and during the archaeological dig, they uncovered over 2,000 pieces dating back over 2,000 years ago. And the city of Cartagena, they partnered with an architect who designed a museum and this tunnel that connects the museum to the Roman theater that they uncovered. In 1988, there were plans to build a craft center on top of this hill in Cartagena. And in most of Europe, you have to have a routine archaeological probe for any construction sites. So they came in to do the archaeological probe, and they started to uncover artifacts. And as they dug deeper and deeper, they discovered 4 different civilizations, one built on top of the other. This hill was as high as where you can see those bushes over there. And all of this was buried underneath it. And as they started to dig, they went further and further. They found at the bottom of it this Roman theater that they have dated back to between 5 and 1 BC, built on the orders of the Roman Emperor Augustus near the end of the 1st century BC. 11 years later, in 1999, after securing adequate funds and local officials enlisted this architect, Raphael Moneo, and he built the museum and the tunnel that leads to this magnificent theater that you see here today. That black area over there is where the stage was originally, and the guide told us that the stage caught fire, and so they did away with this theater and buried it eventually and built on top of it. And that occurred 3 more times. Well, you can see here, this is a chapel that was there, and you can see where the ground of the chapel is, or the bottom of the chapel. That's where the ground level was. So everything else below this was buried. And it is just unbelievable that this was just discovered in 1988. It was breathtaking and amazing all at the same time. Standing here, knowing all of the thousands of years of history that took place, it was mind-blowing, to say the least. After we left the theater, we went out to the square, and right there we found a restaurant, and we ordered paella with chicken. It was absolutely delicious and very, very filling. And then Jon and I ordered Asiatico, which is a coffee drink that consists of condensed milk, coffee, cognac, and a few drops of liquor 43, which is a local Spanish liquor. And of course some churros. After lunch, we walked around on our own, and everything was just so beautiful. It was a perfect day. This is a great port to do on your own. And as we were walking along, enjoying all of the sights, we ran into some friends. Out and about in the streets of Cartagena, and we run into our favorite casino group, Hello, everybody. And that is the lovely Christina in the pink. She is the cash desk manager in the casino on the Edge, and we absolutely adore her and her fellow coworkers. And as we continue to walk around, that's the ground. That tile that you see, the marble, that is the sidewalk. And this is a church that is 122 years old. Everything was so beautiful. This is a port you could definitely do on your own. If Jon and I were to go here again, we would not book an excursion. We definitely would recommend going to the museum and seeing the Roman theater. I looked online and you can get tickets on your own for about $7 to get into the museum and to see the theater, and then explore this area more. We had about an hour or so to walk around and do some shopping and things like that, but it wasn't enough as far as I was concerned. So our recommendation would be buy the tickets online ahead of time for the museum and theater. It's a 10-minute walk across the street from the ship, and when you come out of that, you're in this fabulous area and you can explore on your own. There are tons and tons of restaurants and stores and shops, plenty to see and do. And just outside of this area are some parks and gardens. Everything is within walking distance. There is no need to get a cab or an Uber. You can do it all on your own. And that does it for us for our day in Cartagena. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support. And as always, we hope you have a wonderful day.